In today's tutorial, we'll be talking about the pencil, Illustrator pencil, and it's a very, very useful and a bit complex tool that if it needs constant practice to be able to master the pencil. And I'll be taking you through a few tips that you can actually use to get better at using the pencil. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. So right here I have a shape. Let's just call this a shape, and we'll use the pen tool to trace it out and then try to work with other shapes too and other curved elements. So we'll be able to see how we can use the pen tool to create complex and simple shapes. So I'm going to come right here to pick my pen tool, or you just press P on your keyboard to bring up the pen tool. And this is quite a very simple shape to trace. All you just have to do is you just have to click the point and then go to the next point and click and click and click as well. So we're going to work with this first, so you can start from anywhere. We'll just click to make a line. We create an anchor point and then we go to the next point to click, and then we go to the next point, and then the next point, and then the next point, and then the next point, like so. So we have successfully created a duplicate of the arrow right here. So this is when you have just, square or not very complex curve shapes. You just click and click and click and click like so. But if you have if you want to trace something like a circle, there are things you need to actually follow to be able to successfully create that particular shape, to create the shape well. So after, we are going to be working with another shape. So right here we have circle. Let's say we want to create a circle by using the pencil, and there are a few things you need to understand. The first thing you need to know is about creating curves using the pencil is the lesser your anchor points, the more fine, or how am I going to put it, the better your curves. So you have less anchor points, you have better curves. You have more anchor points, you have less better curves. So you always have to think of reducing your number of anchor points to be able to create good curves when using the pencil. So right here you can see that the circle has just 4 anchor points, and we'll try to trace out the circle using the pencil. So I'm going to change my fill to stroke, and I'm going to change, go back. I'm going to pick up my pencil and I'm going to change the fill to stroke. I'm going to change the color. Let's say red, something very visible. So as we walk, we see our stroke. I'm going to increase the stroke also to like maybe 3 points. Go to Windows, to View, and remove Snap to Pixels so I can successfully snap my points. So To start here, we have to start, you can start from anywhere. You can decide to bring up your guides if you're working with something very, maybe a letter, or you're working with a word mark and you want to create custom logo type. You can decide to bring up your guides. But right here, I can see using my smart guides is already telling me that this is where my anchor point is. This is where my another anchor point is. If I want to, this is where my anchor point is. So let me start from here. To trace the circle, all you need to do is click on the topmost parts. I'm going to bring up my guides using Ctrl R on my keyboard, and I'm going to bring it down. You have to make sure that your guides touch the anchor points to be able to know your topmost, or your how am I going to put it? To be able to know to figure your points, where you put your anchor points. So right here we have the topmost parts, and then bring up my guides right here. We have another anchor points right here. We have another one right here. We have another one. Okay, no. We have another one right here. So using the pen tool, I'll go to my first anchor point, and then I click and drag, holding Shift on the keyboard. The Shift helps me to keep the anchors on the straight line. So holding Shift, I'll click and drag. My stroke has no color, so I'm going to give it a color. I think what I did the other time didn't work. Okay, I'm going to increase. Yes. So I'll come right to my next anchor point. Click, drag, holding Shift. Now, do not worry if your curves are not working as you are creating them, because we can still go back to adjust them using the direct selection tool. So let's just put this right here, and then let's go to our next anchor point. You click, drag, hold Shift. I think this is fine. Then you go to the next anchor point. Click, drag, and hold Shift. It helps you create very nice curves when you are creating irregular curved shapes. Click, drag. No, I want to close the point, so click, drag, hold Shift. So now I can go back and readjust my curves using the direct selection tool. What I just have to do is come right here, or just press A on my keyboard to bring up the direct selection tool. To adjust the curves or the parts, I'll just click on the anchor points, and then it helps me adjust and drag the anchors. Holding down Shift, please do not forget, you have to hold down Shift to adjust this. Hold down Shift, and then we have a perfect nice circle created using the pen tool. So that's the trick to creating curved, perfect curved shapes. So we're going to go to creating some irregular curved shapes. So right here we have this shape which we are going to trace out using the pen tool also. So I'm going to bring up my pen tool, and okay, I'm going to bring up my pen tool, and so remember, the lesser your anchor points, the better your curves. So here we're just going to use 2 anchor points. I think with 2 anchor points we should be able to create this, which is here and here. So with this, you come to your first anchor point and then you click. Here you don't hold shift because it is not a regular curved shape. So it's a complex curved shape. So you have to just work with how the shape is and then create your anchor points and your curves around it. So you don't need to hold shift here. So all you just need to do is click and drag. Since we are coming like this, you click and drag like so. And then you come, I'm going to change my fill to stroke, change the color of my stroke to red, and I'm going to increase the size also. So you come to your next anchor point, you click and drag towards the curve. Remember, you can always come back to adjust. So you just have to create the curve and then you come back to adjust while still holding the curve and dragging. I'll then hold Alt or Option on my keyboard to change direction of this anchor. And then go back to my first anchor point. Then click and drag. Now, we do not have it perfectly yet, so we go to a direct selection tool and then come back to adjust till we get exactly what we want. You just have to work with what you feel works best. You get. So you adjust this also, and then you adjust this also, holding down Alt to change the direction only of this particular. When you hold down Alt, you are allowed to change the direction of one of the anchors. So holding down Alt, I can change the direction like so, and then place it how I want it to be. You can always adjust. Do not be discouraged if at first when you're creating the curves it's not looking like what you want it to be. You can always come back to adjust using the direct selection tool. So I think we have our curve. We've perfectly made the duplicate, so I'm going to just bring it right to the side and we have something exactly duplicated like so. If this video has been helpful, kindly drop a like, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I drop a new video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.